Hello ladies and gents, welcome to a new night point of view review. In front of us is the new Peugeot 2008. This is the facelift. Tonight we have the business trim. This is the hybrid powertrain, to be specific. It is the 1.2 liter PureTech 3-cylinder turbo mild hybrid. It has 101 horsepower. I said in the day review it's a 20 horsepower electric motor. It's actually 28, but it doesn't matter. The system horsepower is 110 horsepower linked to 6-speed automatic e-DCS. Now we're sitting on a 17-inch alloys, pretty comfortable ride, pretty comfortable shocks as well, and the dampers. So this is a nice trim. I wish it had maybe a few things, but well equipped. But I'm going to talk about the price later. Let me just show you here the rear. So beautiful, elegant design from Peugeot, French design. Now let's just jump in the car. Yeah, one of the things maybe I didn't say in the night tour, amongst the things I wish this car had is the start-stop. I mean, physical key in 26. I wouldn't thought that I would drive another car with a physical key, but it is a security feature though, because those wireless keys, you know, their signals can be intercepted and your car can be stolen. So I'm not as much complaining about that. But another thing I would like is a armrest. So let me just show you the interior here of the business trim. And another thing I would love, perhaps not ambient lights in this level, but blind spot in the mirrors and that false floor. But you know, you can't have everything. So let's quickly show you here the sound system, which is not bad for a base audio system. Okay, so there's some news. Let me just see here if we can have some music. No, just. I think it's mostly, yeah, domestic music now, past midnight. That sounds pretty nice. So, pretty decent sound system. Okay, the screen is finally fast. I remember back 5 or 6 years ago, these systems were quite laggy. Let me show you here the reverse camera, and we're gonna head out. So it's decent for parking. Now before we head out, let me just show you here consumption. It is now idling, so it's getting close to 5 liters, but I got it lowest 4 liters on my consumption test, driving between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour, so like mostly 70, and I got 40% electric drive. Okay, heading out, and we're off. Okay, first things first, we got to talk about this cockpit. When you see blue speedo, it means we're driving electric. When it's white, we're driving petrol. Now, at first, I was kind of, annoyed a little bit about this. Right needle, it is power eco charge, but since this is a hybrid, it makes sense. There's no rev counter, so it goes left and right all the time. But once you get used to it, it's pretty much fine. So you have the speedo on the left, but I'm mostly watching the digital speedo. I prefer that one. You have here consumption. Oh, there's a big stop sign. For the first time I see what this is for. And here you can see a energy flow. The battery will always be at around 50%. And you can see here lanes, navigation, and so on. Now, 110 horsepower, mild hybrid. Well, it's aided by this electric motor. It helps it coast when the battery is full, and believe it or not, you can drive around perhaps a kilometer or a little bit more just electric if you're gentle, or if you're just cruising. If you're coasting downhill, it's also going to switch off the petrol, engage the electric motor. You're also recuperating, charging the battery, but you're using the electric motor as a drivetrain. Suspension is quite comfortable. This speed bump is a bit harsher than the first one, but it's generally pretty fine. Now, I think this 110 horsepower is okay, could be better if you're doing occasional road trips, but for city driving, this is mostly intended for an occasional road trips. It's more or less fine, I would say. You have adequate power for this compact SUV, but it's not a lot. It's a little bit slow when you really want to speed up on the highway, but in the city it's pretty much fine, I'd say. Now we have this annoying ADAS feature. It is not super annoying sound in Peugeot. It's like subtle. Now this car, you saw the vigilance system. It has something to recognize if you're tired, but it doesn't have the 2026 camera, because this is like from 2024, 25 model year, so it doesn't have the camera that monitors your eyes, so it's not super annoying regarding that. See, you can just speed up very nicely, so it's pretty much fine for city driving. Only on the highway you're gonna see it could have used a little bit more power, I'd say. The steering wheel is a little bit more precise, I would say. Not super hard, like not totally like a sport setting where you have settings. Well, there's usually 3, but it's decent, not too light and not too resisting, but it's pretty solid, precise, on the precise side, I would say. Now the handling is very nice. If you go harsher in the bends, or faster, you will be leaning a little bit, but the back end doesn't slip. Overview in the car is excellent. You're taller. I would say watch out for the B-pillars. They're not super obstructive, but occasionally you can miss a car in the roundabout. And this huge piece here is a huge blind spot, and you can't see the traffic lights sometimes if you're a taller person. So yeah, that really sucks. Let me show you here the energy power flow. Again, the battery will be around 50% always, so the car, just make sure it's always fully charged. Rarely you will get it empty. You can see where the petrol engages. Even if you watch the energy flow, you can see the D is white when the petrol is engaged, and it goes blue when it's electric. You can see now blue. Altogether, I would say this is a really nice car. And one thing I need to emphasize, this petrol doesn't have the wet belt. It has the chain, if I'm not mistaken, so the hybrid doesn't have any worries about that. Now the petrol is not super loud, which is nice. The cabin soundproof is really good, up to 120, 130, which is the speed most of you will be driving at 150. It's a bit loud and noisy. The electric motor, if you lower the window, has this sound you can hear, and I think it should have, of course, the pedestrian warning, so that's fine if you're going slow or creeping in an EV mode. Now, open road, if you get 4 liters, I think that's pretty economical. On the highway, it's like 6 plus, probably 7 liters or 8, especially if you're driving faster. So that's what you can expect. I haven't done the highway drive too much besides the day point of view driving, but that's something I already feel like it's going to be the consumption from all my experience. I'm driving and reviewing cars for 10 years now, believe it or not. Maybe like really actively around 8 years, or super a lot of cars for the past 4 to 6 years on tests. The brakes, standard brakes, not too aggressive from the start. So I would say, not too late. That's only maybe in old cars, but yeah, it's pretty normal brakes. You can use the recuperation. I use it a lot. I'm an EV driver or EV owner, so whenever I get a chance, I use the recuperation. This car will force you to use the brakes as well, so you won't have problem with rust buildup. Manual handbrake. The Peugeot and the Stellantis group doesn't have auto hold, which on the automatics is a must if you ask me. So yeah, you can pull the manual handbrake. I'm not really sure how is that reacting to the automatic, because it wants to go forward. Maybe the best thing is to put it into neutral. That's what I did on the day point of view driving, but then you need to pay attention to put it to drive before you release the brake, and then if you forget, it's a whole process. So I guess you will not be doing that. The navigation is popping that I'm on a restricted road for some reason on this turn, so that's weird. Wow, don't be that guy in the distance. I'm not sure if you can see him. He's driving without the headlights, so I'm just trying to signal him that his headlights are off. He doesn't get the message, obviously, so I'm gonna try one more time. Nope. So I'm just one more time. Yeah. No, not you. The other dude. Your headlights are off. See, very dangerous. Yeah. It's the automatic lights. Keep your lights on automatic. I mean, I'm pretty sure that car has automatic headlights, but some people for some reason just decide to switch them off. Yeah, you can see when he's braking or when he, uses a turn signal, but as soon as he disengages the brakes, it's all dark. I'm also happy that I got this business trim on the test, simply just to see this non-digital 3D cockpit. I think it looks fine. One thing, the seats, comfortable. I like the fact these are textile, really nice in winter and summer. But I do lack lumbar support. After driving about an hour tonight for the consumption test, I felt like it was time to make a break. So, they're not super bad, but they're not super amazing either. I love the Citroën seats specifically. I forgot the name of the seats. The ones you need to pay extra for. They're available standard in the top trims. But like the C4X, amazing, comfortable car. The suspension is amazing. This one is not that comfortable regarding suspension, but it is very good. And these seats are also not that comfortable, but they are good. Now I'm going to speed up here. You can see the car is going to lean in the bend, especially at the end here. Yeah, a little bit, not too much, but if I would speed up more, it definitely would lean. I've already tested that. Let me just check the consumption here, 4.8. Okay. Flooring it here. Automatic is okay. Smooth shifts, more or less. And recuperating. Soundproof at 130, very decent, a little bit of wind noise. Coming down to 100. Now we have all-season tires, a little bit softer compound, like a winter tire, and very low noise. This is a smooth asphalt and a rough, so I can hear a little bit the road noise, but generally very good cabin soundproof. Now let me engage the lane assist. It's on, you can see here on the screen. Now I'm just going to engage the cruise, 110 here. I might speed up a little bit. So I just want to show you here, when I'm in the center it's green. I'm going to let the car come to a left side and it's just going to correct me. So it's eventually going to come to the edge again. So it's not lane keeping assist, it's just lane prevention. It's preventing you from leaving the lane or the edge. So that's pretty okay. I don't like the screen that pops up and covers the speedo once you increase the speed. So overall, well-packed car, I would say, altogether. But with the competition these days, I think they should have just, make it a little bit more attractive with the price. So price for this hybrid powertrain and the business trim is 29,500 euros. So yeah, that's pretty expensive and not really competitive these days. I know it's inflation, but Peugeot, if someone's watching, you need to cut this price at least to 25 or lower. I mean, these cars used to be like, without the hybrid powertrain, under 20,000 euros. I mean, this is pretty expensive these days, and the Chinese are getting super competitive. Let's be honest, like you can get the Geely plug-in hybrid for 30K. That's same price as this car basically, and it's more posh. You get so much more. So Stellantis has grouped with the Leap motor, but and they have competitive prices, but Peugeot is suffering here, I would say. You can see the headlights, long beam, so nice and bright. I can engage it sooner because of the traffic. You don't want to blind people. Yeah, so this is my exit, and again now recuperating. So just nicely recharging the battery. I'm not using the brakes, the car is just slowing down. And yeah, the recuperation is also not super strong, so you need to use the brakes a little bit. They're also recharging the battery, which is amazing, extending your EV range and lowering your fuel consumption. One thing also I need to mention, this car has only 44 liters of fuel tank, so the range isn't that big. I haven't seen the fuel tank full, so I'm not sure really what's the range, but I think the car should have at least minimum 50 liters fuel tank, generally speaking, or more. So over here now the speed is going to be 80, it's still 100. So if I speed up, I'm just going to switch to middle because I'm eventually going to move to the left. So I just now recuperate and I let the car coast. So look at this. We are now driving electric. Oh, I'm trying to prove a point, and you know, sometimes it's just going to decide I'm going to be using the petrol, and later on it's just going to decide I'm going to be in an EV. I can maybe lower my speed and then keep it electric, but sometimes it just, you know, decides, hey, I'm going to, you know, just keep it petrol. So now I'm electric and I can drive about a kilometer or so, a little bit maybe more or less, just electric. Maybe it depends on the cruising speed. If you're driving like 70, 60, it's more a chance that it's going to drive electric. 80, maybe less so. Requires more power to keep moving the car. But as you can see, we are just driving electric now. So if you're just gently cruising, this car can drive up to 40% or a little bit more, completely electric. How cool is that? I mean, that's saving fuel, especially if you're in a city traffic. You just start, stop, you know, you're just using the electric motor. Although, you know, if you're, let's say, driving slowly, 30 or 40, you can drive electric. But if you start, it's always going to kick in the petrol. Like now, I would have to really drive slow in order not to kick in the petrol, but it just, you know, kicks it in. Okay, we just passed the police car. Now I will do 0 to 100. This is my spot. There's no traffic here usually. I just make sure there's no one behind me or in front of me. And I think this car is, I haven't actually checked what's the 0 to 100, but it's not a lot. But just for you, I'm going to do the test. I usually don't do this. Probably never. Besides on these tests, but see, I'm again just driving electric. How nice. Another thing I feel like I've almost forgot to mention, but I need to mention, is that if you want to disable the auto start stop, you need to dig through the menu. You need to go to the application driver and then just let me just actually do that. So I disable the start stop, application driver. Still no one behind me. ADAS. I'm gonna disable this excessive speed. ADAS, annoyance, and start stop is off. So the car, I'm gonna stop. The brakes are squeaking a little bit. I've just noticed that. So yeah, go figure. Holding the brake, flooring the accelerator, and releasing the brake. The rabbit passing, he's fine, he passed. Brake check. Brakes are good. And yeah, we recuperate a little bit into the battery. So that was okay, but not really super fast, if being honest. Time to end the video. Well, I would give this car a try, but again, I was pretty clear that the competition is just very vigilant these days, and especially from the East, the European car industry really needs to shake up and, you know, start, you know, putting money into regulations, finance it by itself, not switching the expense to the customers, because these cars are getting ridiculously expensive. And I know maybe that the Chinese aren't really fair when it comes to let me just show you you can hear the electric motor. So I know it's not maybe fair, but you know, the Chinese cheat, the Europeans cheat, the Americans cheat, they all cheat in you know, trying to show sales numbers and so on, but you know, they are getting subsides from the Chinese government, the Chinese, but let's be honest, they're selling mostly electric cars, and the Europeans had and the Americans incentives. That's what driven the investments for the development of the electric and hybrid technologies. So, you know, putting fingers and saying, you know, this is not fair for the end customer. The customer doesn't care. The customer goes where the price is good. So the customer cares that he gets the best value for the money, and I feel like the Europeans are falling behind here, or generally the legacy brands. So that's my verdict of this car. Really good. I'm glad to see we have efficient mild hybrid petrols, because you know, most people aren't buying diesels and they're the most efficient, but in Peugeot you can still buy a diesel. So this drive we passed 33% electric. We got to 6 liters of fuel consumption, although we were driving around 5 before I did the 0 to 100. But yeah, take it as it is, and you know, eventually in the end the customers are usually right. So we'll see. Well, the car ain't going anywhere, but it's good to pull a handbrake. So you know, it's going to be interesting to see where this is going. I do hope the legacy brands will wake up. So once again, to show the car here in the garage, and thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content, and see you in the next one. Bye.